right, good morning. You guys hear me in YouTube land? Bueller. Bueller. Anyone? Anyone there? Anyone out there? Hey, can someone let me know? I'm sure there's some trader members in here. Let me know if you can hear me in YouTube land, please. Thank you. Thank you, Lou. Thank you, Paya. Thank you, Paya. All right, I'll be back in a minute.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and any associated websites or digital venues are for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will prompt trade losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment can most apples in a trader, LLC, and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without termination. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CITC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account below is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared to benefit a downside. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may amount or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results at all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and this webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or to give specific trade recommendations. Analysis and I share trades and potential trades that I'm taking for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach trades how to identify specific areas of trading and to themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky, and if you do decide to follow my personal trades, you still your own risk and can potentially lose your entire account and even more. I'm not always profitable and have $15 on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use every single values and ATR values and I'll be doing exact prices for my trades. You can see when I add the zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices that the trades whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter in your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices and integrate with your own zone spread for yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade, as it has actual prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which one you personally decide to trade. All right, good morning. Before we get started, Bookmap wanted me to tell you about this guy here, March Madness competition. I'll put these links in here, so this is free to enter. Let me copy these links here, put this in the YouTube channel. I think I'm able to post now, so that's that, and then that's this. So Bookmap Academy, they go over different trading strategies. I have not got on there yet. I do want to get on there because I'm always, as you should be, open to learn new things. Maybe realize things that you may have been missing. You know, as a trader, you always want to be continuing educating yourself on things, right? You never know it all, and I'm always open. You know, I don't bring new things into my trading lightly, but I'm always open to you know, get different takes on things. I can't tell you how many things that I've learned from Bruce that I've incorporated in my trading that I had no idea existed, kind of like the price change algo and stuff like that we'll talk about today on the market pulse. But, you know, I'm hearing good things about that academy, and then you can do the crypto competition. And we've talked about here too, so I can find it, you got a little bit of an edge, a huge edge, if you are using the SI indicator with the crypto. So we'll see if something fires off while we're on the webinar, but I've been posting things like right here. So on my Twitter. Yet another BTC futures threshold buy ice event signals. All right, I'm about to go short NASDAQ here. I'll go over that here in a second. $3,000 moving to close. So this stuff, someone laughed at me when I posted this one time on Twitter, and then it came out that the big funds are using futures to liquidate and enter positions. So the point is, you can trade either futures off of these events, right? As long as you know the threshold, and the zone drawer will draw them for you. We'll go over all this stuff. My zone drawer, where you don't have to draw the zones by hand anymore. You can trade the futures, or you can trade the cash, right? The cash is highly leveraged. I haven't traded it for a few years. I want to get back into it because I keep seeing these huge moves, and I'm not partaking. So anyway, get in that competition. I don't know if they'll let me in that competition. That'd be kind of fun. But then people would probably complain. Not that I'm some wizard, but we'll see. Maybe I'll get in there. All right, so I'll come back to gold here in a second. I got longs potentially working in gold. I have a short working here. I was short into the open. We'll go over all this. I got out of some, and then it came back and stopped me out, and now I'm going to put the short right back on off of this event. That did not violate to the upside, and here's a new event. Uh-oh, I might be doing something wrong. My trade room is... Oh, Dan's telling me I could join a competition. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. All right, anyway, this is... If this moves a little lower, this is going to be a broken ice setup here. One of my 6 distinct setups. We'll go over those as well on the webinar. You know, there's always new traders in here, so I cover a lot of basic stuff on these webinars, so bear with me if you've heard it 1,000 times. Anyway, I'm going to go short this. These are two. So the whole crux of my trading, the basis of my trading is important to find important areas that I deem important, and then look for these real-time volume events in these areas, and I have distinct rules based on these volume events. So I just got filled on the NASDAQ here. So these areas are, so these are in the trading strategies. So all these trading strategies are my important areas, looking for the volume events in those important areas. So I have, again, 6 distinct volume events and the way they trade around them. So I look for those in important areas. So I can tell you every week, you guys have your own important areas, which is absolutely fine. I'm never going to tell you what area is important or not. As far as, you know, some are using MACD, Bollinger Bands, Fibonacci, whatever you're using, that's fine if you think there's an edge there. But I'm telling you, there's not a real edge unless you're seeing real-time volume at these areas, right? And that's when you really have the edge, because what is real-time volume? They're loaded up traders in the area, aka fuel. So when the market moves away from here, you got the guys that are taking stands, puking out. That helps your cause, right? Just a line on a chart doesn't mean much unless something's happening in that area. All right, so a couple things going on here. So you can hear the zone drawing tool reading off all this stuff. It's incredible, right? The developer from my trade room, what did I just fill on there? I'm also short double size in soybeans. We'll come over here. We'll go over why I'm short double size, but this was, I actually missed an Izzy trade at the open here. Yeah, this guy I could have got in aggressively, but then I got this. I'm short bark and lick strategies. We'll go over all these again. And I'm short double size soybeans. So I just got filled there. Let me put these stops in for both these products I just took trades on. So I entered at 83. My stop is 87.75. So this is the spreadsheet we use in my trade room. You get this for free as a member of my trade room, as well as these inflection zones, aka Izzy's, right? So I'm going to take a long, I don't mean to be jumping around here, but we'll get over to this, but there's a volume event right now in gold. It moved out, moved back in. If this moves out, I'm taking an Izzy, aka my important area. Anyway, you can get these and the spreadsheet as a member of my trade room. If you can't get in the trade room, then you can get the stuff on my website. I usually have this up here. It's just my other website, so Pulcinitrader.com is the one website. I'll post this document too, and this is the other one if you want the zones and or the spreadsheet. Let me post this in the YouTube as well. So this is this. We'll go over all this in a little bit. Drawing tool course. That's the website I just talked about. We'll go over all these in order here when stuff starts to settle down. Let me post this real quick though. All right. So let's see where we're at here. So there's been some really heavy relative volume coming in here in these equities. You know, they're attributing it, and someone in my trade room mentioned it too, that it's the rebalancing. I just don't remember. Like yesterday, I did my webinar earlier. I walk out the door, and then the relative volume like shot through the roof, and the market just ripped. I don't remember the rebalancing causing that big of a ripple in the markets, but there's definitely something going on. So that's good for us as traders, right? So anyway, that's what I did here. Excuse me. Let me find this NQ chart first to show you this Izzy zone. I'll show you why I went short here, and there's a way I can good old thinkorswim. Hold on, let me find what are the 85 charts I have here. So you can see what this market. Who's talking right now? I don't know who's talking. Anyway, this is the zone I just shorted off of. Very important area for this market. Got balance. This broke down. So we've talked about this at length in my trade room last couple of days. That's a breakdown. That's a fail breakdown. This market got through this high volume node. This should have ripped off the page. Didn't. Came back. Once again. Now, then it built balance, and then things were shifted. Obviously, these markets are very bullish overall, but then it broke out of this balance. But you can see it is struggling at this prior balance high volume node. We got something in crude as well. And not only that, you can see these selling tails here too, right around this zone that I've had from other stuff, right? That's why we use these zones, because they remain important until, once the market trades through them a bunch of times, then I delete them, but this one's still important. I can actually move it up a little bit. Anyway, this is telling you something. You had a little tail here, bigger tail, bigger tail. What are tails? That's instant rejection. Granted, this is an hourly chart, so it's not like instant rejection, but that's telling you something, right? You can look at this chart. You don't see, when you see tails, the market reacts. So this is telling me, and it's happening in an important area. This still, may do this. The big area is going to be, and this may happen while we're on the webinar. Watch this high volume node, and then this is also where this market launched from, directional conviction, right? Basically, if this market gets through this zone here, I'm going to be trading double size short. I don't care what's been going on in here. Like, every time you put on a short, it's complete torture. Like, I'll probably be tortured on the short I am in now. But if we break this balance area, I'm firing to the downside. So again, I trade both ways. I don't care. It happens every day. I say I love the short here, right? Say it comes down and I get a long into this zone. I'll still take a long setup. I'll still take the longs. I'm a day trader. But if I start getting short setups, I trade based on my thesis. I'll trade bigger size. So that's all it is. I mean, a thesis is an opinion. I have opinions nonstop, right? Doesn't mean they're right. But when I get the volume events agreeing with my opinion, that's when I go for the throat, right? So anyway, that was Izzy zone. This event, Izzy zones are usually aggressive entries, meaning I have two different types of entries for these volume events. I either get in them right away when they break out at the just outside of an ATR. That's this yellow line. We'll go over this zone drawer here in a little bit. Or I wait for ATR, that's the blue line, retest, confirm, then I go in, depending on the strategy, right? Usually Izzy's and pick trades, profiles encourage. Actually, I'm going to watch this area too, because when I was short pre-market, I did get out of some down here, and it was the right move. And if it gets back down here, we'll go over what's down here, but I'm going to be getting out of some of these trades that just can't blow through this area again. Anyway, the two trades here were Izzy and pick. So pick is a profiles encourage trade. Actually, it was probably a little through there. Let's see. Yeah, it was a little through there, but I took it. So, all right, lots of stuff firing off here. So that's a market profile composite. It's when you merge the days, the value arrays of days. So like this is a single day. A value array is just 70% of the trade where that occurred, right? When you get days that overlap, I merge them together, and they're very, very powerful areas. So anyway, the volume event basically happened there on this retest. I'll take that short, just like I did on the pre-market and the Izzy short. And then the other trades that are possible here, I already took that short, but then you got a new event. So this is what I do, right? So my stop for the shorts I just entered was off of that event, right? I entered like right there. My stop was way up here. I'm sorry, it was way up here. Now that I got a new event, I trail my stop to that. It's not that big of a difference, but it's a difference. So I'm going to actually plug this into the spreadsheet. So we do have the ATR in here, and all these lines are based off the ATR where you enter, exit. It's the same stuff in the spreadsheet, but the ATR has not been behaving properly. This is why this is in beta mode, the pro version if you have it, if you have the drawing tool. So this is showing, for instance, you can see there in the bottom left, 21.29 is the ATR. The Thinkorswim ATR is 19.64. Not a huge difference, but it makes a difference because this stuff's pretty exact on what we're doing as far as ATR and everything else. So I want to make sure I have the current ATR in there. So in this, I want to get over to CL. I definitely want to be long CL. I mean, I want to trade double size CL because of what's going on there. We'll cover that in a second. So anyway, let's just put the zone in. I can trail my stop to this. So 18.5, 11.50 to 06 quarter. All right, so 18. And if you have questions as we go along, throw them in the YouTube channel. All right, and then ATR is currently 19.76. So I'm trailing my stop to this most recent event. Remember, I got short off of that. Now I can trail my stop to that. So if I were to short off that zone, my stop would be 34 quarters. So I'm moving it down to 34 quarter. I entered at, where did I enter? Basically right here. So I entered at 95.50, which is basically right here off of that zone. And my stop's up here. You can see it's pretty close, but it's not exact, right? So this is showing me would be my stop. This yellow line is the stop. It's saying 36 quarters, so it's off by about, or 36, off about 3 ticks. So I'm going to put trail my stop to 35 quarter right now on these. Hold on a second here. All right, those are working. Now what else can I do off of this event? Even this event. So these are different trading strategies, right? I took 2 different trading strategies that were aggressive entries where I take them first move out. On that one, I took the IZZY trade, the inflection zone trade, first move out. There are instances where you wait for a retest. This was not one of them, so I took it aggressively. And the other trade I put on was the profiles encouraged trade. It's supposed to be a funny name. I try to name these funny names because it's memorable. This was actually John F. Kennedy's book, Profiles Encouraged. That's why I named it. Anyway, it's based on market profiles pick. So both of these are aggressive entries. Now I also have in play a potential lick trade. We'll see how much lick is below. And a potential bark. So what are barks and licks? Barks and licks are basically taking anywhere these happen. We just talked about how I wait for these events in important areas. Well, barks and licks are basically anywhere you get an event, you're taking it because the edge is inherently in the event, right? I don't care where these things happen. It's still an edge. If they happen in important areas, it's even better of an edge. But I want to take advantage of when I see these anywhere because there's an edge there, right? So if this does one of these, so for bark and lick, I need to see an ATR, which it already hit. I need to see a retest of the area, and I need to see a confirm or failure. Then I'll put on that trade as well, right? So that is not retested. I don't think it retested. I got to talk to the developer about we got to move this over more right because it's like in the middle of the chart. Well, I guess if you spread it out, you don't have to worry about it. I asked him to put these numbers on the right, but I think we need them further right. So you're on if you're watching. That's my request to that. All right, so let's see if there is definitely a lick here. You got to decide if you're putting on a lick trade if it's worth the risk reward, right? So if this does what I said, comes back, well, I'm entering here. Do I really want to put a lick trade that's right here? So I'm risking all the way up here to make it to there. That's not you're not going to make a living as a trader taking 0.5 to 1 trade. All right, there's lots of stuff firing off here. All right, I'm about to go long gold too. We got over there. Let's see if there's more lick below here. Yeah, there's lick. So you had big band here. I mean, it's not crazy, but it's been in here forever. So I'm okay with the lick trade here as well. So if this comes back, I'm already short pick and IZZY. Then if this does this, I'm going to put on barks and licks. So and the great thing about this zone drawing tool, it will let me know when it retests this zone. So I don't have to sit there and watch it. I don't know how many trades I've missed because I just didn't have the I wasn't staring at the chart. All right, so gold. This is once again I already kind of went over this. This is a move back. So this market my thesis is very bullish now. It's been bullish. It looked like it was going to rip, go to 3,000. Then all of a sudden it just did one of these. Built balance, right? And what did it do? That's a failed breakdown. Struggled here at the high volume node, built more balance, broke out. So I said, even in my trading room, any long setups I get in gold today, I will be taking double size. So this is because of my thesis, right? I trade both ways, but if it's in line with my thesis, and this is a Dumb and Dumber, a dumb money puke, you had 2 of them here. right? You had stop run there, stop run there. Usually the stop runs are retail traders, right? So usually it's just them puking and it's non-initiative buying or selling. So the majority of the time it's an excellent fade trade area. So this is a puke into an important area. If this moves up a little higher, I'm taking the long at that price. That's the price. So we can, I think you should be able to see this, and I think I put this in the spreadsheet here. Hold on. Yeah, that's that zone. Just make sure this ATR is right. It's actually up to 3.6. So my long is at 2230.1. I think I have these working. I better have these working. And I'm going to trade double size here. So this is the great thing about the spreadsheet too. All you have to do is enter your ATR, your zones, the amount you want to risk per trade. So you should be doing a percentage of your trading account. These are Apex accounts, so I'm reaching for each strategy. So I'm risking more. You know, if you're trading a real money account with your own money that you're living on, you should not be risking 10% on a trade. You should be risking 2% max. You know, if it's an A plus trade, 4%, but you should be stopping out at, you know, right around 6%. If you lose 6% of your account value in a day, you should be done. So you got to decide. It's fine to trade. Like, for instance, if you love this gold long, it's fine to put on 6%, but you got to be okay. If this ends up being a loser, you're done for the day, right? So if you start violating this, you've got no chance to make it in this business. I can promise you it will. You may get away with it a couple times. It will bite you in the ass eventually. Take it from me. You guys have all heard my stories, and maybe I'll go over it. I don't like talking about ignoring my daily risk levels. It's not a fun story, and I would have another $1.4 million in my pocket if I would. Probably more than that. There was just 2 different separate days. I lost $800,000 in 2 different days, literally a month apart. This was 2004. Just because I violated my risk rules, and because my firm didn't stop me. It's not their responsibility, but it kind of was, because that's why we have risk managers at the firms. They didn't stop me. I didn't stop myself. I was supposed to. My max loss for a day back then was $100,000. I lost $800,000 twice. How does that happen? Especially the second time, no idea. I'll tell you how it happens, because when you go on tilt mentally, you become a different person. I become a different person anyway. I can't tell you how many times I've done stupid shit in here. Pardon my language, but that's what it is. And I wake up the next morning and I take like $800,000 loss, and I'm just like, what in the hell was I thinking? Like, what was I doing yesterday? Who was that person? Trust me, it happens when you start getting your being, or your I can't think of the word, threatened, right? Like your life, your existence threatened, basically financially. You react like a different person, right? And you don't even really, a lot of times you can't catch yourself. I'm at least at the point in my career where like yesterday, I had a mistake and some technology things, and I missed a trade, and I tried to get out, and it did one of these, and I even told my room, I said, I feel myself going on tilt. See, I can catch it now. Back then, I couldn't catch it, and then you lose $800,000. So I didn't really want to get in that rant, but very important to control your risk is the moral of that story. All right, so if that comes back, I'll be long. You'll hear that fire off. Let's see what's going on here. You know, again, you go short these markets, and by the way, here's Euro. We want to keep an eye on that. So this is the options activity. You guys, I know I'm jumping around. I know I'm talking fast. I'm trading live. So if you're going to get on these webinars, you got to bear with me. You know, I'm covering all these different markets, telling you my sob stories from the past, watching all this other stuff. I talk fast because my mind works fast. I process things quickly, and I'm trading live. You know, that's the other thing too. Hold on here. I always bring this up, and I never have it up ready to go. So I tell my room, and I tell you guys all the time, if you come in my room, you can learn what I'm doing, but it's just like this. Hold on. As far as me explaining, like, oh, this is a broken ice setup, this is a Dumb and Dumber setup. Yeah, you can learn. It's going to take you a while because I'm trading live, right? So what I tell my room, basically, pretty much every day, right? If you want to get fast track, or even if you can't get in the room, this is, hold on. Sorry, I usually have this up. What's in 1 minute? Oh, the natural gas number. So this is the course, right? So this goes over everything I'm doing, and this is it goes over everything. This is the updated course. Thresholds, this is how to, for the settings, how to draw the zones. And again, if you have the zone drawer, you don't need to do this anymore. And then here are my setups, right? So for instance, this setup that I'm potentially going short, or that I just shorted in NASDAQ, and I may add, if it does that is a broken ice setup. What's broken ice? Well, it's a big money buy ice. So the big money is buying up here, and it's not working out for them right now, right? So I take advantage. And this is the other thing too. When this stuff first came out, everyone's like, especially competitors of Bookmap, they thought what I was saying is every time you see buy ice, you just blindly buy. No, paper's wrong a lot, right? They're right more often than they're wrong because they're the big guys, and they can not the big guy, but they're the big guys where they can buy. And they could, if they have unlimited size, they could just hold the market, and it finally relents, right? So yes, they do have more control over the market than a retail trader, obviously, but they're not always right. And the whole point is you're looking for that area, and if they're not right, we take advantage of it, right? So anyway, this is a broken ice setup. You have two of them here. This one was wrong, and how do I gauge that? If the market can push an ATR away from the area, that's how I determine if it's bullish or bearish, right? From watching so many of these things over the last 7 years, literally probably millions, I've just seen this tendency. That gas stuff's coming out. I've seen this tendency, if the market's able to push away at least an ATR, then it has a propensity to continue in that direction, right? So that's how I judge. Anyway, broken ice, and I will put on more trades if that happens. We're waiting for that. I'm still already short, but I'll put on other strategies if that comes back. All right, another market, I don't know why I'm not. Gold and crude are the biggest markets right now as far as my conviction, aka my thesis, right? So you can see crude. We've been waiting for this for days. And all these markets have been horrific, like going into basically yesterday, right? Like, that's why I told my room too. If you're struggling lately, so many traders, they start struggling, they think the stuff, whatever their edge is that they think they have, and they may have a legitimate edge, but they start to, they take 3, 4, 5 losers in a row in crappy trade, and they think it doesn't work anymore. You gotta step back and reassess. Okay, is my system not working, or is it just because the markets suck? Well, it's been months, but especially the last 2-3 weeks, the market has been horrible. It's been this type of trade in all the markets, right? Usually, you can jump to another market if the equities suck and something else is moving. Lately, it's been like even gold has just been sitting there for days, and it's finally breaking out today. But the point is, if you've been struggling lately, lots of natural gas stuff. We'll head over there maybe. I'm going to let this settle down first. If you're struggling, my point is, if you have an edge, like we have an edge, I know it's the edge. I put my life on it, right? I'm not abandoning it. You just got to either pull back your size or just take your lumps. Again, respect your loss limit for the day. If you take a couple days limit down, that's fine. Don't get stupid in crappy trade and you go on tilt and you lose 20, 30, 40% of your account. And then when the market finally picks up and it's great trade, all you're doing is getting that 20, 30, 40% back. And then it's not worth it, right? It's not worth it financially or mentally. So don't let it get to you when you see crappy trade like this. Anyway, there's a lot going on here. So we've talked about this. This was obviously a very bullish market, right? Broke out. This is the same pattern over and over and over. Came back, retested what? High volume node. And then it built more balance, right? Failed breakdown there. Breakout there, breakout there, and then so this is what we talk about all the time. What should happen if markets break out of balance and they come back through the high volume node? It should do that. If it doesn't do that, it's telling you something is up, majorly up, meaning the move out of here is going to probably be multiples. And then what did it do? It did then this way it did a fail breakdown, and it struggled and it came back here, and I'm like, well, this still might be bearish, and then it did directional conviction. Balance, tried to break down again. Where do we build balance? These high volume nodes here, and then it broke out here. So right now, what's going on is, so this is how I come up with what's going on, bigger picture for my thesis, right? I'll trade both ways, right? So for instance, this volume event, if it fails, I would take a short here. But if this volume event that I'm showing you here turns out to be a long event, I'm trading double size. Why? Because my thesis is bullish based on the breakout of it. First of all, this broke down. What did it do? Did it do that? No. It just sat here, held where this directional conviction came in, and built more balance. Now you have a balance breakout my other goal? I haven't been filling the other. I had that on one account. I just didn't adjust my my entry point like I was supposed to. Anyway, I'm long gold on one of the accounts. All right, so we had a breakout here through. All right, now I'm long everything gold, and it's through the high volume node of that. We actually have a new trading strategy. It's going to be done this weekend, and this is the new strategy. Balance breakout through the high volume node of a prior balance. You can take trades aggressively, meaning you don't have to wait for retests of the zone. Right, so that's what's happening right now. So anyway, so I can actually practice what I preach here and put on this new trading strategy. It's not even listed yet in this trading strategies, but meaning I can take this first move out of here, right? Meaning gets to that. Let's just make the ATRs correct. I will be going long, and I'm going to be going long double size, right? Because why? Because this already proven a bullish event. It hit the ATR line. And now this is the game, guys. And we actually have, with the zone drawing tool, we also have the ATR reversion trades. These markets have a ridiculous propensity to come back to these zones, right? So we actually have a trade that takes advantage of the 1 ATR, the 2 ATR, the 3 ATR. This one, the 1 ATR worked twice, right? So those are more for scalping type of trades, but that's part of the spreadsheet. I don't really get into those on the webinar because they're just too hard they're too fast and I got to cover all these markets. But this part of the spreadsheet is for position trading strategies. And then this one is for the reversion strategies. But you get, so the spreadsheet, you see all that on the new zone drawing tool, right? So you get these values as long as the ATR is correct. You got to check that. So this is showing the ATR at, and I want to know anyway because I'm for my position trades. This is showing a 13 ATR. You can see it down there at the bottom left, 0.13. I had it a second ago there, 0.13. So let's see if that's right. Yeah, it's pretty clear. See how the bottom left there and the middle left, 0.127. So this one's pretty accurate. I mean, it's almost exact. So I'm going to I can trade right off the chart. So what am I doing here? Volume event was sell ice. So some big money is selling here. Does that mean I just turn around and go short just because they're selling? No. If it were to do my, confirmation, then yeah, this one is already confirmed as a bullish setup. That means if I get a short setup now off of this event, I can't take it. These are my personal rules. If the market pushes an ATR away from the volume event, I don't take shorts, right? Because it's like we already talked about it, it's shown as a long. If it does do this, then I just wait for a new event. There's another event right around the corner. That's all I would say. So you don't have to force trades or say I want to get in. Anyway, if this comes out of here, I'm going long. I'm going long the new setup. I don't even have a name for it yet. We're trying to get my room to help me name it. That's that balance breakout through the high volume node of balance breakout. That's the one strategy I can take. Let's see what else is here that I can take. Again, these are my different areas where I wait for events. So we know high volume node breakout. Like I said, let's see what else we got here. This is close to a pick. Let's see. Yeah, that was right around 82.16. Where was that volume event? Pretty close. I mean, when I say pretty close, that's what you got to decide. There's some subjectivity to this stuff. Most of the stuff we do is black and white, right? But you got to say, hey, is this close enough to this guy where I'm going to take a pick? Well, I'm already very bullish the market. We just talked about it, so I will say that's close enough. I'm going to take a pick trade too. So not only am I going to put on the new setup that's coming, I'll have it in this weekend for members of my room. Keep saying it, but it'll be done this weekend. Got a 3-day weekend coming up. No trade tomorrow. Balance breakout through the high volume node of this balance. Take any trade. I'm not saying up here you take aggressive longs. I'm saying as it breaks through this high volume node, which is pretty close. I know this is an Izzy zone this way, but I will still take that aggressively. Right? So on the flip side, if I get a short in here, a short setup, I'll still take the short. I'm bullish, but guys, if the market's truly bullish, you shouldn't see these volume events failing to the downside, right? So I can't go short this particular one because it already confirmed to the upside. So we already covered that. This comes back, 82.45. I'm putting on, I wish I had a name for it. If you guys want to help me name it in YouTube, since my room hasn't given me a name. The balance breakout one, BB, we'll just call it BB right now, and pick 82.45, and you can see this tells you everything in here. You can put on, shows you your size. Where's the size? Oh, right here. See where it says position? This is going off the big, right? So the regular. So it's saying I can put 1.5 of the regular CL contract, futures contract. Obviously, you can't put on half. All you got to do for micros is times it times 10. That means I can put on 15 micros. And I'm obviously bullish, so I'm going to trade double size. So I'm going to put on 30. I could put on 3 normal. I'll just put on 30 because I'm trading the micros here. So that's going to be, put on the new, actually I don't even have it assigned. I don't have an assigned Apex account to that yet, but so I'll put on another one. 81.45 is the entry. Of course, right through there. And then what was the other one I said? What did I say? Oh, pick. Hold on. Why is this not letting me? All right. It touched that price, so I should be in. So I'm long crude, and I'm long crude double size. So here is my entry. That's this yellow line. Where's my stop? The other yellow line, 82.11. So let me put those in. So you see the simplicity. If you have the spreadsheet or the drawing tool, everything's right there at your disposal. You don't have to sit there and try to figure out where do I get out, where do I, if you're going to follow the rules that I'm using. And again, you're more than welcome to watch 5 million of these things and come up with your own rules. If you want to fast track it and go with someone who's watched so many of these and use my rules as at least a blueprint or a foundation, highly recommended. But if you want to watch 8 million of them, come up with your own rules, and do it. Hold on, what is 83? All right, so stops are in. There we go. Long crude. So right now, I'm long crude, I'm long gold, that's ripping, right? And so now what do I do? So this one's moving in my favor. Now the next thing I do is I want to see what areas I may start to piece out of this trade. I'm definitely going to watch a prior event. I have these all listed, and this is part of my trade room too. I go over this every week. Every day with my trade room. You should have this. One of the prerequisites of coming to my room, you have to tattoo this to your forehead. So, like a real tattoo. And or read it every morning before you start trading. What did I just fill on here? What was that? Hold on. Hold on a second. I want to put these on this account as well. Anyway, so right here, I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So these are the areas that I will piece out if the market struggles. And we have methods to decide if it's going to be able to blow through the area or not, right? So prior event is one of them, right here. Same day prior event. Same day prior SI events, stop iceberg events. So watching this area very closely, this 59, the bottom of the zone, right around the zone. And we're gonna be able to do it real time too. Speaking of which, I got to turn on tick strike here too. We'll go over all the stuff I'm using in my trading. Again, guys, if you come to my room, you don't need to use all the stuff I'm using in my trading. Yes, you need Bookmap and the SI indicator, or you're not going to get anything. I mean, and it's the best edge you're ever going to see, in my opinion. All right, but you don't have to use all this other stuff I'm using. I use Market Pulse, definitely Market Pulse. I use tick strike, which is kind of a poor man's version of Market Pulse. We'll go over all this stuff, but this is the stuff I use. So we're going to judge when it gets up here, and we're going to use the Market Pulse order book games and the potentially the price change algo to decide if I'm going to get out of a lot at this area. So that's one area I look at is prior events. Let's see what else we got. Move that out of the way. We got yellow lug, so I definitely get out at yellow lug. So we've got that prior event and yellow lug. I'll probably get out of at least half. If it struggles, I'll probably get out of 3/4 there. You can see we're way up here. And here is an example this morning. I got short pre-market on that NASDAQ trade. And where did I get out of half of them? I had, what did I have on 7? I got out of 4. So the event was like here, I got out at the yellow lug. Not all of them. And then it came back and stopped me out, but I basically scratched a trade because I got out of half there and got out of the other half there. These are we haven't got to the lugs yet either. These Ludwig levels are the second most powerful thing I've ever seen in my trading next to the SI indicator, right? So I respect the yellow lug. When I have a trade on and it gets to it and I can't get through it, I get out of some. Those are one of my areas. So lugs are my areas. Prior same day events are my areas. Market profile, composite highs and lows, points and controls are my areas. You can see this one bounced right off of there. So we'll go over that. Let me see if you guys got any questions. I got to take a breath here. Daniel, I purchased the drawing tool yesterday. Can I get access to Pro Beta? Daniel, I already sent you an email. Check your email. I forwarded you, I responded to your email through my website, and then I sent you another email with the instructions for the beta. So check your email. All right, so and so the biggest thing, guys, too, is, be under, and this is the retest I was looking for too, by the way, in NASDAQ. I'm under no illusion even if this is a winning trade, which it probably won't be because this market's so ridiculous, it just goes up every single day. It just gets so, that's why you always hear me saying I wish these things go to zero. Even if this doesn't make the move down, I know I'm going to very likely get tortured, right? Very seldom lately in the last 5 months do you get like straight moves down, right? So, well, if this comes back, stops me out. If it comes back, I'm already short pick, Izzy strategies. Now I'm going to put on barks and licks if it comes back here off of this event, right? Let's see what this is. We already discussed all this. I just wanted to recap it. This is pretty close. It's about this is showing a 19.78 ATR. The ATR is 18.7. So I got to make sure the spreadsheet's right for my entry if it does come back. Oh, by the way, what was this? This is the 1 ATR reversion trade. There's your line right there for the 1 ATR. Your stop for the 1 ATR is this dash dotted. So you get in there, your wrist to there for a play back to the zone. Work like a charm. So that was that. So I got to hurry up and get this in here. I think I've already put the zone in it, did I not? Yeah. This is down to 19.12. So this is showing me an entry of 84 quarter. I can put on 5. This is showing me an entry of 82.75. So there's definitely a difference there, right? So you got to make sure if you get the drawing tool, you get the pro version, you got to know it's beta. That's why it's beta. This is not right yet. So you've got to check your ATR to make sure you're entering at the right place. It matters. Trust me. I get filled to the tick 5 times a day. It gets real annoying after a while. So these prices are important. 84 quarter, I can put on 5. I'm going to put on bark and lick. I'm already short pick and Izzy. Alright, ZS is not cooperating right now. I'm short ZS as well. Go over that again in a second. Get over here. Where's 5? 84 quarter. So it comes back to 84 quarter. I'm short in bark and lick, like I said. Why is this not? What's going on with this thing, man? This. Let me put in any orders. Alright, those are working. So, my stop for the shorts I'm already on off of this event are up here. Technically, I still could go short that event too, right? If this comes here, I would get a better entry point price too. So we'll see if this does, and the zone drawing bookmap Bob will let us know. Actually, did this already retest? Yeah, it already did. So this is a little variation. I don't want to confuse people because there's a lot of new traders on here, but I could potentially, I could get short this event, right? Because this did not violate to the upside to disqualify. We always default to the most recent event. So if this event were to prove bullish, well, I can't go short off of that event. But this retest of this prior zone is in effect. So I can actually go short at that price, which would be right here. right? That comes back. Actually, I should have already been filled, so I may have gotten lucky here. So if you want to save an extra, I'll just leave it, but that's a variation, right? I mean, you can save yourself probably 8 points there. So I actually should have been filled there, so I may get away with something here. So I don't have bark and lick on yet. So if it comes back to this off of this zone, I'll put on those shorts as well. I'm already short 2 things, and again, I'm fully aware of the pain I'm going to go through being short these markets. So let's just take a look at Hero as well. So this is another thing. I'm going to go over that everything I use here in a second. So NASDAQ Hero is ripping up. Mag 7 is starting to turn up. It was at its lows. We'll go over Hero 2 here. Not sure what this is. So that's a big move, and you can see these flows are meaning there's extra options activity coming in, but we say $1 billion notional move in options. So what am I looking at here? This is spot gamma. This is the Hero indicator. This is showing me options activity. These options dealers are a big player in the markets. Why? Because they get loaded up with options. So people are buying puts or selling calls. These dealers get loaded up. They got to turn around and sell the futures to hedge themselves. They are big players. Some days they're the only game in town. Other days they're not. But they are an important part of the market. So you can see today, look at what the market's doing. It's basically following what Hero's doing. Right? Hero did that, the market did that. Hero did that, the market did that. So it's important to keep an eye on what's going on here. You can come with trading strategies with this alone, right? So how does that help you? Well, it's just like a market. It's going like this, but you're going to see a lot of times. We saw more than a couple times, but it was just, I think it was just like I might have talked about it last week, where Hero did one of these. So the green or whatever color this line is, I'm colorblind. Hero dropped notional. It was like that day it was like 2 billion, and ES, this is the white line, just sat here. And I'm telling my room, all right, something's up here, because the options dealers have to hedge, so they're unloading the market, and the market's not responding. So that's a divergence, right? So you're like, okay, something's up here. When this Hero does finally turn back up, this thing should rip off the page, and that's exactly what happened, right? So yeah, you can't really guess what's going to happen, just like you can't guess what's going to happen with the markets. But you can watch this thing to kind of understand, if anything, understand what's happening. Like right here, this thing's ripping, the market's ripping, right? But what you want to pay attention to a lot of times, like I said, is if, say this rips and all of a sudden this starts going the other way, you're like, oh, okay, that's going that way, and I know the dealers are buying. And then if this starts to turn over, then you get even more of a pronounced move, right? So this is an awesome tool to have because it's what's happening in the market. Very important. Not a line on a chart, what's happening in the market, kind of like our volume events. Right? All right, see if you guys got any other questions. All right, so what do we have going on here? All right, so I'm long crude. I'm long gold. I'm short beans. That's not working out right now. I'm about to get stopped out of here. Where is my stop on this? I'm hoping I put my stop in. So I get on these webinars and then I start looking at those other markets and I forget stuff and then I look over. Yeah, I should have already been on back. Yep, of course. At least I caught it. Hold on. What's my exit price here? I got double size on this wheat short, this beans short too. Let's see what my stop out price was supposed to be. I can't tell you how many times I make these mistakes though, because I'm on these webinars. So my stop is supposed to be 87.75, basically right here. I had bark and lick on too, so this is gonna be a painful trade. 91. So we'll go over why I'll still put on double size shorts, but this one's not gonna work. It looks like I should already been stopped out, but if it comes back to 75, I'm out. So this market, why I did double size is this looks like it's gonna get killed. Right? You got smaller breakdowns, breakdown, and then you got the bigger one, breakdown, through the high volume node of the positive. This is the exact same strategy I was just talking about in crude, going the other way, right? This market, again, I may get stopped out of this one. If I get a new event, I'm going to load right back up short, right? Because this is what trading is. It is probabilities. This one may lose. Does it mean the strategy doesn't work? Does it mean my thesis is wrong? No, it means every trade doesn't work. If it was that easy, everyone would do it, right? It's like you got to understand trading is probabilities. So once again, you need to have, well, you need the course, but you need to have this tattooed to your forehead. If I can find it. Where is it at? Can't find it. Hold on. There it is. Sorry. If you can't accept this, you can't be a trader. Period. There's no sugarcoating it. You're not going to make it. Stop wasting your time. Go work for the man. That's all I got to tell you, right? You got to accept this, and you got to accept most days trading are going to look like this. You make a little, you lose a little. This is what this has been lately, right? And then you have the monster day, and it's back to this. Most great traders, profitable traders, have 5 to 10 monster days in a year, and it makes up almost their entire P&L. What did I just fill on? Oh, I stopped. Okay, I stopped out of. This is why I got on the subject, right? I just stopped out of soybeans. It was a loser. Learn to trade an edge like a casino. So the casino has a whale sit down and he waxes them for $1 million, or they shut. Well, they do kick the guy out most of the time for counting cards or whatever. But they just shut down every blackjack table in the casino. No, they know the math's on their side, aka edge. They keep dealing the damn cards. Keep putting on the trade. The biggest thing is you need an edge, and you need to know it's an edge. That's where traders have the biggest problem. They think something works, they try it, it works for a week, and it starts to lose, and then they abandon it because it's not a real edge. I can promise you, with everything inside me, what we're doing, what we're looking at here, and it's not. I'm not doing anything. I'm just using my opinion on what's This is what's really happening in the market, right? I'm just adjusting to what's happening in the market or adapting. This is the edge, right? I will go to my grave saying this is the best edge I have personally ever seen in 25 years of trading, right? So I don't have to question my edge. What I need to make sure is I don't become an idiot and start skipping trades because it doesn't feel right, or take 4 losses in a row and don't put on trades because of that. That's where traders screw up their edge, right? If you know you have an edge, and I can promise you that's the best edge you're going to ever see, in my opinion, then you just trade the edge like a casino. And if you can understand that and internalize that, you will very likely become a profitable trader, right? Anything can happen. You don't need to know, or do you know? This is straight out of Trading the Zone, by the way. I added this part. Or do you know what is going to happen next in order to make money? You don't. You see your edge and you put the trade on. Hey, look at this. There's a random distribution. What's that? Well, that would be this loser right here. This is a random distribution of my edge that lost. Big deal. There's about probably 20 more today alone. Not necessarily in this one market, but I'm watching 20 markets, right? So, loser, trust me, if I get another one, I'm right back in the trade. And there's going to be another setup in there, and I will be waiting in the wings. So, again, and then the rest, there's a random distribution for between wins and losses. You are not going to put on every trade you put on is not going to be a winner. Yeah, most people, obviously it's common sense, but people just they don't internalize that. Every trade they put on, they think is going to be a winner, or they're skipping trades because it doesn't feel right. You don't know what's going to happen next, so you've got to put them all on because you don't know what's going to happen, right? And that's just nothing more than an indication of a higher probability. Is that 100%? No. I had another rant there I can't remember what I was going to say. Every moment of the market is unique. So even though you see something work 25 times in a row, it doesn't mean the next time you see the same thing, it's going to work. That's what that means. Right? And then here we go. Learn the edge, trade the edge like a casino. And then he actually has an exercise where you can test your stuff. So we did this. This is how we came up with the reversion trade in my room. We did it live in my room actually it was a year and a half ago now. I said, okay, let's do this. Because every webinar for the last 7 years, I would say that the propensity of these markets to come back to these events. I said, well, why do I keep saying it's 70% chance for this to come back, in my opinion, from my experience? Why don't I have a trade for that? And then that's how we came up. We came up with this reversion trade, the 1, 2, the 3 reversion trade, to do this exercise. You can do this with any edge you think you have. Do it and follow it. Straight out of Trading in the Zone. Get the book. Awesome. That's all you really need. All right, that's the course. No questions? All right, so stopped out of beans. Oh, so I didn't even hear this, right? So what can I do now? I'm long crude. So did I say, wow, this is working great, I'm going to trail my stop to break even, right? There's even people in my room that were doing that, not doing it anymore because they got a verbal lashing for like 3 weeks straight. You can do whatever you want, guys. It's your money. But if you, this is what these algos are built for. You trail your stop to break even, you have probably a 90% chance of getting stopped out, right? Yeah, 10% of the time it'll rip. I trail my stop to something that actually happened in the market. So my stop was way down here. Let's just see where that was. I don't even think I put this in, to tell you the truth. I didn't even put my stop in, which is not smart, but it doesn't matter now because I'm going to move it. It was down here. What's this? That's a new event. Where's my stop? All the way up here. So I'm basically going to scratch this trade. I'm only going to lose, if this comes back, I'm going to lose 20 ticks, right? So now, before I even put my stop in, let's try to judge as this thing rips off the page. And this is filling. I'm double size here because this was my thesis, right? Hold on. Let's see where we're at here. We're almost at red lug. So I put on pick. What did I put on? Pick and Izzy? Hold on. I gotta look here. Pick. Yeah. No. What did I put on there? I put on pick. What was the other trade? I forgot. All right. So anyway, I'm watching this red lug closely, and we're going to, hopefully real time, we're going to watch how I'm going to judge. These lugs are ridiculously powerful. I can show you 15 examples just from the last 2 days of markets bouncing off these things, right? So I don't mess around. If it struggles at all here, I'm out of this trade, right? For now. There's another event right around the corner. I will judge, though, as it comes up here, if it's going to blow through. How can I do that? Well, at the best of my ability, I'm going to watch relative volume. So relative volume is really nothing right now. Right, so that means the big money's not, and you can see here, there's my double size longs. Here's my sweet stop out in soybeans. So anyway, double long there, and then there's my gold trade that I put on. Anyway, I'm watching relative volume when it gets up there. That's number one. And then I'm gonna use market pulse. So this is other stuff. I put it on my other computer because I'm watching too many markets and it's freezing up. And I was doing copies and it's freezing up my my Bookmap, so I put it on this Bookmap. I got 2 of them here. So this, I'll watch this closely. So this is, so on this one I've got, right, so these are the order, this is the order book games here. So this is, so Market Pulse is basically tick strike. So this is tick strike, right? So I've used tick strike for like 15 years. Right? This is telling me based on a 1 to 15 ranking, the size and speed of the orders coming in, right? I have mine set at 11, so this will not make a noise or fire off unless it's 11 or higher, right? So I watch all these. These are all the FANG or whatever they call them now, meta, and then here's the futures just for the stocks, and then I have the separate ones. Here's the crude one, right? So anyway, Market Pulse is basically tick strike on steroids, right? So. And they've just gone above and beyond. I asked them for something like this 2 years ago, and they built it for me. Literally, I am the reason Market Pulse exists, but I am not the reason that they do what they have done with it, and it's unbelievable. You have all, guys. I keep telling you, Bookmap is like having your own trading firm working for you, and with developers that keep coming to you with new things, right? So when I was at King Street Trading, I was just flipping orders in the order book, right? I didn't even have charts up. There was no algo anything back then. There were really not even algos. And that's why I made so much money. All I would do is trade off that. Well, after I went from millionaire to zero, hero to zero, then I started to try to change my strategy because the scalping didn't work anymore, right? And I don't want to get into these stories, but there's a saying out there's nothing worse than having money and then losing it. Or having money and losing it is 10 times worse than never having money at all. Why? Because you know what it feels like to be rich, and then when you're not, it's not so fun. When you're just poor, you don't know what that feels like, right? And I mean to laugh at it, but that's how it is. And trust me, I've gone through the ringer. So that's another great thing about my story, guys. I'm not in here flashing Lamborghinis and all this other crap, saying what a great trader I am. I am saying I do have a lot of experience, but I am, and I'm trading for myself now, right? Back then I had a firm behind me, but it should be refreshing and it should give you guys confidence that someone like me, especially for the mental baggage that I have, right? Making millions of dollars and then can't make $1 and then literally watching your whole life go like that because you don't have any more money coming in. It should be a testament to what I'm trying to teach you, that it can be done, that you can get back, you can do this if I'm back in the game. See what I'm saying? So that's my story. I'm a real person. I tell you like it is. My room sees it every day. Like I'm emotional. I go on tilt, stuff like that. So everything's real about me. I don't claim to be a multi-million-dollar trader. I'm well on my way back, and we just actually signed on with a trading firm for the reversion trade. But the point is, when you're trading your own money, I can't put on this huge size, right? And especially all the mistakes I make in the webinars and everything else. I'm not getting into that. Point is, I'm a real person. What I want you to take from this is, if I can go through what I went through and then take Bookmap and this information Bookmap gives me and make my way back, you can do it. You can, not that you have to make your way back, but if you're just starting out trading, you can do it too. This is the whole point, right? So I don't know why I got on that rant, but anyway, here are the algos. So they have all these other algos, and like I said, it's like having a trading firm behind you. So for this one, I'm using the main ones I use are volume, pressure, and balance. That's showing me actually traded volume. We'll go over that. And then the two that are not traded volume are just the algo games: order book pressure, price change. So on this chart, I have order book pressure. So you can see here, what does that mean? That's the games that are going on here. And anybody for all you guys that keep emailing me asking about trading off the dome, you are wasting your time. You can use this to understand what's going here, right? But if you're trying to watch these orders, and you can see this liquidity right here, but if you're just trying to watch these orders and make sense of it, good luck. Guys, this is how I made $15 million in 3 years trading off this. You don't think I want to make $15 million in 3 years again? Well, why would I not be doing it again? Because it can't be done. I'm not saying I am saying you can't do it. I want to see some results for 6 months to a year that you just stared at an order book and you were able to make money in any market. Why? Because the algos are too fast. I was one of the fastest clickers in the world, right, at one point. And I got knocked out of the game because of the damn algos, right? So stop wasting your time trying to make sense of this. The heat map is showing you the order book anyway, the traded orders, and then the order book pressure shows you the games that's going on here. So what am I getting at here? So you can see here, and what they're trying to do with the games, you can judge if the market's responding to their games or not. So you can see here. Right, by the way, this is a retest. Wow, this is a rare occurrence. I don't know if you guys have seen this before, when the market puts in a volume event and then it goes in ATR and comes back. Here you go. Here's the reversion trade, right back to the zone. So anyway, if this does this to this, I'm going to put on barks and licks as well, and I'm going to put on double size. Anyway, back to the order book games. So here, this is showing me, I don't know why it's not populating here, order book pressure 98%. So meaning, in this instance, they were beefing up, they weren't really pulling bids. The best is when they're putting in bids and pulling offers. Well, how does that help you if it's not really traded volume? Because it's opening the door, right? So if they beef up the bids and you see the buyer, this is showing you market buying, then you know, okay, somebody really wants to buy here, and the order book games are working. So this is back to why I brought this up. So they say this gets up to this red lug up here, right? A very important area and resistance area that I will get out at. I will judge. So say it comes up here and an order book game starts happening. Say they do the same thing where they beef up the bids and they start pulling offers. And say it just sits here. Well, I'm going to be like, okay, something's up. Someone should be panicking here and trying to grab offers because they're pulling them. No one's doing that. I'm out. I showed some good examples of that yesterday in my trade room. Anyway, hopefully we can do this real time. We'll watch this closely. Hold on, I want to change this color too. So this one is the, come on. Here, let me go to this mouse here. Hold on, this is, so I changed mine to yellow and black because I'm colorblind. I can't even tell what color this is. So this is a seller's percentage. So I'm going to change this to black. So there's 4 different options here. When it's above the 0 line, it means they're putting in offers for the negative. Hold on. So I have these at black. Right? Guys, this is incredible, and everything works together, right? It's most times when you're adding in other indicators, you get all this conflicting information, and you're like, you don't know, you can't pull the trigger, right? That's what most traders do. They think the more stuff they put on their charts, the better they're going to do. It's actually the exact opposite. This stuff, it all works together, right? So you can see here in this instance, I could have actually maybe got out of some here just by how this responded. So right here, what did they do? This is not traded volume. This is order booking. They beefed up the offers, and the market responded. Someone's like, oh, crap. Someone wants to sell. I got to jump in front of them and sell, right? So how does that help you? Well, say the same thing happened here, and they beefed up the offers, and the market did nothing and started going up. That's telling you, oh, this long is golden, right? So they responded. It's coming back. That's what happens. But you can see why the market's responding when it does. And this is probably a price change algo up here too. I don't appreciate this coming back this far, but it's what it is. Let's see what happened up here. Here's the price change algo, right? This is the other one. Let me turn this one off. This is the order book pressure. Turn that off for a second. Here's the price change. So you can see every time this thing, even if it's fleeting, it does respond, right? Big price change, here's the pullback. Big price change, here's your pullback. This one is keeping going. That means this is telling me bigger money is in here. So guys, yeah, you can scalp off this, but there's going to be times that it keeps price changing. It's a price change for 100 ticks, right? So be careful trying to scalp off it, but this is giving me information now. Some of these price change algos are trying to do this, and it keeps going down. So somebody's kind of unloading on this right now. Does that affect my trade? Not necessarily right here. I mean, my stop's in, right? My trade's on, stop's in. If this comes back, actually it stop's not in. I got to get it in right now. And my stop's right here, 82.34. Let me put that in before I get a screw job and miss the trade. No, I didn't. It was at 15, now moving up to 34. 83, 82. So if this does come back, I'm going to take a small loss because I was able to trail my stop to this event. I got multiple positions on here, so let me get out of these. 34. Guys, you got questions? Throw them in the room. If you don't have questions, there's something wrong. Right? There's no way, unless you're a part of my room and you know what I'm talking about, you've got to have questions. I can't see you watching the fire hose that I'm spraying at your face and you're not having questions about it. All right, CS is dead to me right now. Of course, I got stopped out to the tick and it's still continuing lower, and that's the way it goes in trading sometimes. But like I said, if I get a new event, I am going to trade double size. Right, I'm still short NASDAQ. I'm going to refer to it as a nice name. I have a different name for it on days that it's screwing me over, but I'm still short. What did this do? Wow, this is really surprising. I can't believe it stalled at these prior events. I'm being sarcastic. Half of my talk's sarcasm, by the way, in case you don't know me. So I got Barks and Licks working here too. I'm already short Pick and Izzy. I'm putting on Barks and Licks. I'm watching this to go to zero hopefully today. See a fat finger swipe to zero. Shock the world. That'd be awesome. I always joke about it, but if the thing goes to zero, that probably means there's a nuclear war, so that probably wouldn't be so good. So even if you make millions of dollars on your trade, you're not going to be able to spend it. All right, so gold's coming back too. And what mistake did I just make here? What did I just talk about, guys? See, this is the problem it's not a problem. I elect to do these webinars, but this is the issue when I'm on these webinars. What did I just miss here? I just missed 35 ticks of profit. I was going to get out of half up here. What's this? Hey, look at that. Wow, I can't believe it responded to that prior event. I just gave back 35 ticks of this trade. So I'm giving myself an F on that because I just talked about it. I talked to Barzini. Movie. Anybody know that movie? You get a gold star if you know it. What am I doing here? That's upsetting, guys. That's really upsetting because I have about 5 positions on in gold between my personal accounts and then my Apex stuff. Hey, what do you know? Yellow lug too. So this is guys, I should have just put a resting order in because I know better when I'm on these webinars. I should have been out. You have prior event and yellow lug. I should have been on a half there. Idiot. So see, this is the kind of stuff where I start to get upset and then I start to go on tilt. So I've got to make sure, especially on webinars, that I don't embarrass myself and go on tilt. I'm going to get out of a couple of these. I'm going to cost myself 35 ticks. So you see, I just got done talking about all my experience, blah, 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 blah. And I still make stupid mistakes, right? So hold on, get out of some of these. It's fine if I wasn't watching it and I'm like, oh, I should have been out there. I just talked about it. And I don't get out of the damn trade. It's not hard. It's not hard. All right, that was just an easy trade, so. Was I supposed to be losing track of what I'm doing here? Was I supposed to be long bark and lick there too? Doesn't matter, but no. So if this comes, I'm still going to do this, right? This would be really surprising if it did it, by the way. Not. Here's your 3 ATR entry, or one of these is. Anyway, if this does this, I only have Izzy on there. I'll put on barks and licks too. Guys, this is the other great thing. It's not great. It sucks when this happens, but look at the algos in here, first of all, right? It's whipsawing you to death. But I expect this to retest this zone. We have a trade waiting for that to happen. So why would I be surprised if that did that? I'm not surprised, right? Just like I'm not surprised it did it in crude. If you know what's happening in here, you're not shocked. Yeah, it doesn't feel good, but I'm not surprised this did what it did because that's all it ever does, right? That's why we have trades for it. It's just good to know, at least, and when you're using the price change algo and the order book algo, it's just good, refreshing, even if you're not trading off of it. It's refreshing to understand why the market's doing what it's doing, so you don't take it personally. And that is my biggest fault. It's always been my biggest fault. And I told you, it's not really a fault because back in the day, you guys all heard my story a million times. I used to go head to head with a dude every day. He was at a trading firm, and he had like double the size I can put on, and every day I would be head to head with him. And he could see, and back then you can see counterparty, and he'd see how many I could put on, and he'd see I'd be loaded up, and he'd run it in my face, and I'd have to puke out and lose like 300 grand. And then I would try to leave the trading firm to go kill him, and that actually happened one time for real. You guys have heard that story. But the point is, what was I? No, I can't even think of my point. I hate getting on those stories because I go back into PTSD mode. I forgot what I was getting at. It was good, and I forgot it. I'm sure I'll remember here in a second. All right. Why was I saying that? Okay, I can't remember. All right, so let's see if you guys have any questions. I'll try to remember what I was going to say. James Scott, you have a setup called Dumb and Dumber. Have you seen it play out today? I still trying to understand it. Dumb and Dumber is just a stop run. Yeah, this is a Dumb and Dumber right here, James. Right? What's a Dumb and Dumber? That's this. I always like to segue into my course because it's kind of important. And of course, I lost it. How did I lose that? Hold on. I'm going to go over that sheet too of everything I'm using, by the way, as well. Hold on. Thanks for the question, James. So that's this. One of the 6 setups right here. Dumb and Dumber number 1. Dumb and Dumber is a stop run. So you've got to realize most stop runs are retail traders. Why? The big money uses like these algos to like piece out of their trade. They don't just dump orders in the order book very, very often, right? Guys, I know all this because I was at a trading firm. I was at 2 different trading firms, right? I was at King Street and Wolverine Trading. Wolverine Trading was like Bookmap. They would literally have a developer come up to me once a week and say, hey, we got this new tool. You want to try it out? It's the same with Bookmap, right? That's why Bookmap is so incredible. Just from that standpoint, every other week they're coming out with it just makes trading better and better and better as far as being able to see what the hell's going on in here. Anyway, a Dumb and Dumber is a stop run, aka dumb money, retail trader. I'm dumb money too. I'm a retail trader. That is not informed money. That is not initiative selling. So inherently, it's a fade type of trade because most of the time it fails because it's not real selling. It's not big money hammer in the order book. It's retail traders puke. The big money is actually trying to get the retail trader puke so they can get long here, and then it does that, right? So a Dumb and Dumber is a dumb money puke rejection. So I look for Dumb and Dumbers in important areas. Or an ATR retest confirmed, so I'll trade this Dumb and Dumber area if it does this, right? We've already talked about all this, but that's a Dumb and Dumber, James. If that's not clear, let me know. Grumpy says, Grumpy's actually part of my trading. Are you using order book pressure or imbalance? I'm using order book pressure. What's the difference? I don't have it on this chart. Any imbalance you see here is just showing you it's the net. It's the delta, right? It's buying and selling combined. You can have imbalance. You can have imbalance for any of these. I do use the imbalance for value and pressure. So you can either have it, you see that there's 2 options. You can have it where it splits out buyers and sellers, or it combines it. That's all it is. Imbalance is combining it. So for the order book stuff, I want to see it. I don't want to see it combine. This is my personal preference. You want to combine it, combine it. I want to see, let's see if they're playing any games down here. I would really appreciate if they would play some buying games. hold on, that's the order book pressure. So what's going on down here? So I have it split out, so it's showing me separately. So first of all, this is actually, hopefully, if this can get out of here, I think we'll make another run up. Why? Just from watching what they're doing here. So they came down, what did they do? They pulled bids, right? I have mine set at yellow. If it's below the zero line, they're pulling bids. The market didn't really, it went down a little bit, but didn't really react. And then what are they doing? Now they're pulling offers, and actually you see that big blue bubble. So to me, right now, whatever way this breaks out of here, just from looking at the games here, is probably going to elicit some kind of move, right? Because if it moves lower, the last thing that happened is they pulled offers. Well, it didn't respond, and it's probably going to move lower, right? This is how you can piece out of some of your trade. On the flip side, they pulled bids here, pulled bids, and it didn't really go down. So it's getting out of here now. I think we're going to now make another move up just based on what I just went over there, right? But anyway, imbalance just means you're combining the two, right? That's it. Volume pressure, and for the volume pressure, that's this algo, and all this is showing. This is the only one I changed. The rest of them are defaults. The only one I change is this one. This is showing me the most buying or selling in the last hour, right? So I show this every week. I try to. You go over here. Hold on, get out of these widgets so I can find the damn thing. Go here, right? We'll just look at wheat. They're all the same, right? So you're here. You go here, it's set to 5 minutes default. I move it to an hour. For the price change in the order book, it's set for 5 minutes. I leave it at 5 minutes. You can change that. This is the whole point about it. This is customizable, right? You can, if you got a better method, let me know. Like I said at the start of the webinar about the Bookmap, what do they call it? Hold on. Oh, the Bookmap Academy, right? Where they talk I think they do it. Dan, what do they do? Is it every day? Anyway, you can come up with new things, right? You don't have to just take what I'm telling you and then add some stuff you learn there. Oh, by the way, look what happened here. Just from order book pressure games, I had a feeling that was going to happen. Not a feeling, I was just watching what was going on. So anyway, the other one is market pressure imbalance. So you can see how the market responded here too. As this is what I keep trying to tell you. An area doesn't mean anything unless there's actual volume occurring there. And if you know how to understand what's happening in the volume, there's your edge. Look what happened here. This was the most buying, one of the most buying. You see the yellow spike, means it was over 70%. I have that at default. You can move it to 90% or whatever you want to make it. In the last hour, this is the volume pressure imbalance. That was that. Wow, look where that market stopped at, right where that area came in. Surprise, surprise. Why? Because sellers got ran over there, and whoever held their breath that comes back, they're like, please let me out. Right? That's the games. That's what ATR retest is too for the volume events. So I hope you guys are starting to see a little bit about, like I said, even if you're not trading off the order book or the price change, at least you can understand why the market's doing what it's doing, instead of thinking, oh, that's why I got on that tangent. Because I said how I take things very personally, because back then it was personal. I was trading head to head with the dude that was trying to blow me out, and he did it, right? I did blow out eventually. So that's why I take things personally, but I have to realize these markets are not personally against me. That's my weakness. I've always been like that. I'm very competitive, but I know I know that's one of my biggest faults. My room hears it all the time. I always say there's a camera behind me, like most traders say the same thing, but it feels real. It really does. But if you start watching those games, it at least gets that burden off of you, like, oh my God, here we go. They know what I'm doing, and blah, blah, blah. You can go down that rabbit hole and never come out. Take it from me. All right, what the hell's going on in equity? Hey, I can't believe equities just stopped trading and are doing nothing, like every single day. It's been very frustrating, like I said, right? So you just gotta realize this is the environment we're in, right? Don't blow out trying to make something happen when it just does this 90% of the time. And then you get one blip and then back to that. You get one blip and then back to that. Very frustrating. You lose your account percentage for the day, like we talked about earlier, 5 to 6%. You just say, uncle, you win again, I'll be back tomorrow. And then you keep just trading, and then you have the day where you crush it. And then back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. That's just the way trading is. and I say this every week too, you got these newbies that come in here. I just want to make $500 a day. I think I can make $500 a day. Yeah, you can average $500 a day. You're not going to make $500 a day every day. It's not going to happen, ever. It's part of the game. It's inherent in trading. You're not, every day is not going to be a winning day. Yeah, you can go on streaks, weeks, months. Every day is not going to be a winning day. So don't think this is a job where you get paid every day. It's just not going to happen. I got to take a breath. You guys have no questions? Well, Bookmap Academy hosts weekly meetings at 4 p.m. Eastern every day. Guys, if you combine what you're learning from me, there's other educators on there too. I'm sure they've got some gems. I probably need to watch more of them, right? I don't claim to know it all. I claim to know what I know from my experience. I'm always open to seeing new things. Every time Bruce talks, I'm like, my ears are pricked, listening to him. Like, oh, I never thought of that aspect. Watch some of my webinars. I posted them. Go to my YouTube channel. There's a bunch of webinars I've done with Bruce where I'm just like, I'm learning the new stuff, right? What you don't want to do is get all this conflicting information where you get frozen and can't pull the trigger. So we already talked about that. All right, what I might want to watch gold since I already screwed up the exit the first time. There we are. It's back here again. I already got out of some, but if this starts to fail here, now right here, we'll use this. I'll bring it up on that. I think I have it on this. I'll bring it up on here so we can watch it so I don't have to switch between computers. I don't have it on here. All right, let's just do it real quick, right? I can't believe it's failing up here again. Go to Market Pulse, hit Create. So the price change algo, start that puppy up. I'm using default. I just started up. Hit Create again. I'm going to use order book, not in balance, because I don't want to see net. I want to see buyers and sellers. This is all default. I do nothing with this. Hit play. Now this will load too. The other thing too is you can load. They changed this. You got to make sure because you're going to see it's going to start from now, which is fine for me. But you can load back. I'm going to load 3 hours. Apply, right? And then it'll populate. I wish they would do that for the SI indicator. The SI indicator is just so much data that's why you don't, when you like close out your book map and start it back up, you don't see the prior stuff. It's a million here. You can see it on here. The best one to look at is ES because it's pretty incredible what they can compute. Look at this thing. Watch when I go to this is just one indicator, right? Look at this. Look how many updates they've had. 1.7 million updates and counting. So that's why they can't show you all the data. They would have to have servers the size of a small country, right? So maybe one day they'll have it where you can set it like that, but at least you can get it with the book map. All right, so my short, I'm just being tortured here, but it's still struggling at this zone, so we'll see. The thing you really want to probably start watching, especially this time of day, Hero will probably start dominating more now because, between the 10 and 12, we're at 10:30. This is where I would literally, back in the day when I was scalping, I would physically remove myself from the office so I wouldn't trade at this period. And it's all products too, and it continues to this day. Between 10 and 12:30-ish Central, you are just asking for trouble. So if you're smart, there's actually some traders in my room. What am I looking for here? Oh, the Hero. There's some traders in my room that have learned and they get up, they looked at their trader sync. That's another thing you can use. So let's go over this stuff real quick, guys. The whole point is you should be getting up at this time unless you have trade on. Do your best not to initiate trades between 10:30 and 12:30 would be my call. But anyway, go here, use this. You get discount, all this stuff on my thing. We'll go over this. These are all in the spreadsheet or that document. This. Get discounts to that too. There's my little code. All you gotta do is click on it, you get discounts. Anyway, I guarantee you start tracking your trades. I will promise you between 10 and 12:30 over a long sample size will not be winning trades for you. All right, so let's hurry up and go over this order book so I can get out of some more of these if this thing struggles. Let's turn off. So this is good to watch because you're going to watch me adjust it too. Here's the order book pressure. So I just want to see what's going on there. So you can see here, this is the buyers, the buying games. This is not even real traded volume. This is the games the order book's playing. Let's change that to yellow. So there's 4 options for each of these. Buying and selling when it's above the zero line, buying and selling the buyers and sellers when it's above the zero line, the buyers when it's below the zero line. So I'm going to change both of these. So 2 options there. Whoops, I want that, sorry. I want that yellow because it's showing me buyers, right? and then I want to change what the sellers looks like, I change mine to black because I'm colorblind. I can't see these. I have no idea. I can barely even see this color on the background. That's how bad it is for me. Colors, positive is black, and then negative is black too. See how the positive changed, but then I got to change this too. So there's 4 options: buying and selling above and below the zero line, and buying and buying above and below the zero line, and selling above and below the zero line. 4 options. So we change both of those. So here we go. So what's going on up here? I'm going to get out of more here. Why? What's happening right here? Just order book. This is showing you nothing but the games right here. What did they do here? They beefed up the bid because it's above the zero line. They pulled offers. Market responded. Great. That's great for my long. They kept doing it. Let's see here. Nothing's really happening here. But the point is, they did it. The market responded, but it didn't really respond. It responded a couple ticks. Now it's below here. And I know that's that prior event. I'm going to get out of some more. Right? And I know this is yellow lug too. Right here. It's struggling here. I'm going to get out of a couple more. Hold on. This is how you can use real-time information in your trading. Let's see. All I have is the Izzy on, right? Yeah. So I had 10 on, I had 5. I'm going to get out of 2 more. I'll still have 3 on. And that's what number is that? 94. Yeah, this is Izzy. So I had double size on, right? So I still have a position on. And I'm adjusting to an area and how the market's reacting with the order book games. And obviously, we'll look at the volume, pressure, and balance too. Hold on, all right, just have a couple left of those, so I'm okay with that. All right, so then that's the first algo of non-traded volume that you can use to judge. All right, we got something in ES. I can't believe these markets are bungee jumping rallying. That's really surprising. I don't think I've ever seen that before, except for nonstop every single day. So look at the price change algo up here. I don't need to load. Yeah, I'll load it just to show you. Watch. So go here if you want to load prior. Move this historical data. So I'll just show you how many times this is algos just running you ragged. Right? Watch this when this loads. This is just price change. What's price change? When the market moves too far, too fast, they hammer it the other way. Look at this. I mean, look at this. It's nuts. Like I said, when the big money comes in, and I'm sure they have this factored into their P&L, they play their games, the big money comes in, they get run over, but then it's back to this. So 5 to 10% of the time it's big money in here. The rest of the time it's Christmas tree, aka algo is doing that to you. So look at this. So this one, you can tell if it just hangs up here, yeah, these algos are trying to snap it back. They got a little bit. That means big money's coming in, right? Same with here. But then when they're done, then it starts to play the games. Price change, snap back. Price change, snap. Price change, snap. Price change, snap. This one kept going a little bit, right? So, yeah, you could scalp off this. If you're going to scalp, this is what you need to be looking at. This is an order book pressure, in my opinion, and volume pressure and balance. Other than that, and then you can see that there's another one. And here's one coming in right here, right? I'll bet you it does that. If it doesn't, then there's someone, a bigger player in here hitting it harder. But that's the point. Like, it does this most of the time. And you will get these, obviously, right? And then it's back to that. So even if I'm not trading it, I understand. If I'm long this market, I'm like, oh, here's a price change. That's why I have to go through this torture. Oh, here's a price change. That's why I have to go through this torture, right? You know what's going on. All right, I'm out of breath here. Yeah, we're out of time, too. When Bitcoin, what does that mean? I watch Bitcoin. You'll hear there's an event. The zone drawer tool works for this too. I'm going to go over that document real quick before we go, so you guys can see everything I'm using. My threshold for that I've noticed is 25 Bitcoin. I know it seems like a small amount, but it's really not notional. What's that? 1.2 billion, 1.2 million. Anyway, there's been nothing. It may have rolled too. I got to check this. This may be. All you got to do here if you want to check the roll. And you go over here, SME. Markets, crypto, and then you just click on it to see if there's more volume in the next month. This may have already rolled. Let's see if I can find the damn quote. Here we go. Yeah, see, this is rolled. That's why I'm not getting the events. Go to quotes. See that? So I'm on March. That's why I haven't got any event. I haven't got any events because it's not. This is the front month. I got to change that. But anyway, it changed trades just like any other market as far as the events and then how it responds. keep an eye on it, and highly recommend. You guys have an edge. Whoever's on this webinar, you know you can use the futures to trade the cash. Get in that Bookmap crypto thing I posted earlier, this thing. Get in this and use the SI indicator, and you can get the zone drawing tool, and it draws it for you and announces it to you. So quickly, this is my stuff. So I posted in the, it's already posted in the room. Be nice if I can find it. Here we go. Quickly. Zone drawing tool. You get this, if you get the basic, you're just going to get the basic at first. I will send you an email. If I don't, let me know, and I'll send you the, for the pro. Here's the videos on them too. Here's my course. Talked about that 85 times today. Here's the flexion zones in the spreadsheet. If you come in my room, you get it for free. If you want to get the subscription, you can't get in the room. There it is. My website, my email, my Twitter. Here's my trade room. If you want to join that, I do whatever you're seeing today. I do every day, twice a day. Lately, it's only been once a day because there's never any trade in the afternoon. It's horrendous. And here's all the discounts that you can get for everything I'm using. Bookmap, the MBA bundle. Here's Apex. We didn't even get into Apex. This is, you definitely want to be using this if you're practicing. Practice, not a game. Practice, right? That's what I use for these trading strategies. I've been using it for over 2 years. They do everything they say they're going to do. Plenty of people. I've been paid out in multiple accounts. Plenty. Again, they have their own Discord channel. If they're not paying, you're going to know. Use this code for any discount they have. Right now, it's 80% off. Pulcini 50 for anything they got going. Highly recommend it. We really get into that. There's no reason, especially if you're learning like what I'm doing or something new, don't risk your own money. You use those. You got to put something down. It's like $60 right now for the $150,000 account. It's $60, and if you do well, then you're funded. Then you don't have to risk your own money anyway. It's a no-brainer to me. You guys do what you want to do, as usual. Spot Gamma, we talked about this. Use this code. You get 2 free weeks of the entire thing. That's the hero. That's his commentary every morning. Here's the tick strike. We talked about that. That's this. Discounts to that. This guy here. Ludwig levels. Second most important thing or powerful thing and important that I've ever seen. We didn't really get into all the different strategies and stuff, but you can join, get the 3-day free trial, and you'll see yourself in a couple hours. You'll be like, oh my God, this thing's ridiculous. Anyway, that's special pricing. Say you were on the Bookmap webinar, and then here's my reviews. There's one jackass in here that got mad that I didn't kiss his ass when he was asking me something, and he was a complete idiot, and he got mad, so he left me a bad review. That was about the only one that's bad. So, guy is a complete moron. I'm not even getting into that. All right, have a great week. I will see you guys next Thursday. Any questions, you can email me too. Thanks.